I'm Suzy Royal. I'm a curator, an independent curator here in Berlin, and today I will be speaking with one of our Spend It Forward artists and producers, Magdalena Piech. I'm sorry. And we're just going to talk about her process and the work that she's been creating. Let's start with your main medium, which is often graphite on paper. Can you tell me a little bit about this, in a way, really traditional medium, and how you sort of got into it and why you choose it as your...
Right. I started it because, first of all, I come from a kind of traditional school where I used to do scientific illustration a lot, and that was basically like the fastest medium I could work in and get the most detail out of. And yeah, later on I moved to other mediums, but they were not so easy and maneuverable, and just when I moved to Berlin I didn't have enough space in my first apartment for oil painting, so I just stuck with graphite and charcoal.
Okay. And then you've even moved into, or you've done printmaking. What you said, one of the,
right,
what we're looking at here is actually the etching for an etch. This is the plates for an etching. So you have done printmaking as well.
Yes, that was part of my bachelor program in Chicago. So yeah, I used to do printmaking, but again with the space and the materials. When I first moved to Berlin, I didn't have them available at hand, but now I'm just kind of working back into it. Yes,
great.
I love to work on paper.
Yeah.
And with printmaking, the reproduction process and that you can have multiples of the same image is very attractive to me.
Yeah, that is great. And I see you're using different types of paper as well. Sometimes it's a thinner tracing paper. This one over here, right, I think is on a thinner paper, almost a vellum. And other times you use a heavier paper. How do you sort of decide which paper it's going to be for which project?
It depends. Like sometimes I use multiple references, and for the sake of saving time, I just kind of use tracing paper and trace different references right on the page. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I want to do like a bigger drawing, it makes more sense to have it on a more stable, thicker paper, so it can take a little bit more beating, and it can be a little bit more experimental with it.
Yeah. And is this is also drawing alone, or is this?
Yes, this is charcoal drawing on a very heavy paper.
Yeah, I mean, it makes such a difference. The paper you're using really changes the look and feel. It looks almost like a watercolor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the richness of this black is just really incredible. I wanted to talk a little bit about your subject matter, because while the materials you're using and the background for your training is maybe a bit more traditional, your subject matter is different, we could say. How did you get into, I mean, you said that you told me a little bit about when we were talking in the other room. Maybe you could explain a little bit more about the use of realism and your choice of subject matter.
Well, I think, first of all, there is... I found that I like realism because it expresses the texture so much. Mm-hmm. But I found a lot of people who do like photorealism or straight like academic drawing or painting, like their subject matter is not something I want to commit to. Like it's a little, for me it's a little boring. But like, and how I see my work is actually, it's kind of like an exploration of mental and emotional states through texture and physical materials. Okay. So fetishism is like a very direct way to it, because you're basically obsessing about like an object and giving it meaning beyond its functionality. Yeah. So that's how I ended up drawing a lot the latex and bondage.
Yeah, and these are beautiful, probably really beautiful textures to then reproduce in a drawing. The shininess of latex, or the thickness or heaviness of leather, this kind of thing. Really probably translates well into the drawings itself.
Yeah, and it's also like way back when I first started looking at like the objects in sex shops. Like I was just like, I had no idea what they were. I knew they were like for something sexual, something taboo. But like, so I was just like, oh, that's kind of like magical.
Yeah, there's definitely
so
that element.
I kind of like that feeling to be within my drawings.
And are you usually using yourself and doing a lot of self-portraits, or are you drawing other people, or a combination of both?
I primarily do myself for like purely economical reasons too, because I don't have to, you know, ask a friend to model for a project that might fail, for example, or just, you know, I'm right there and I can always use myself as a reference. Even if I don't have like a photography of myself, I can use a mirror or something to fill in the gaps.
Nice. This brings me to a next question, and it's about Corona time, because that also, you showed me a drawing that you made of, I think it was a friend or a person that you knew who was far away, and this was something that basically kind of came about by not having the person right here and doing a Skype call. Was it you did a drawing over Skype, and this is sort of interesting, and you have moved into this area during Corona.
So the largest series I can talk about at the moment is my selfie series, and basically after all the events and kind of shoots that I had planned before were canceled, I was just like, okay, what can I do now? So I basically started taking selfies of myself in a mirror in these outfits I was supposed to wear or wanted to wear. And then I was just like, why not make it into a drawing? I don't have any better ideas at the moment, so I just started doing that, and it expanded, and I kind of asked my friends who are not afraid to be in front of a camera to do the same, and the project kind of grew, and it became kind of it's a really nice thing because you can connect with people on a creative level. And not just, you know, if you can't go to a party or to someone's home. Yeah,
especially like the dressing up, the wearing the different outfits, that's something that like all of us really miss at this time period. So if you can at least like do this in a sort of online or something virtual, this is, you know, that kind of brings a little bit of that feeling inside.
I'm not sure how is the best way to display them.
We can just sort of look through and see the sort of size. These are also works. These are original drawings, and we're offering these on Spend It Forward on the platform. And so it's nice to sort of just see them, because sometimes you see something online and even if the dimensions are there, I'm always like off. It's really hard to imagine.
Especially with like graphite and it's like real textures. It's really hard to reproduce them digitally. So I have them scanned very high resolution, very good quality, but it's still not the same. And this is Ana, by the way, our friend.
Great. This is a Die Fabrik artist. It's a project that came out of sort of Corona time. You weren't creating anything like this beforehand, or were you doing?
No, I actually had these beforehand, but, you know, I'm kind of lazy with advertising. So Corona was like a perfect time to actually...
And I love your logo. It's really nice, very classical, sort of almost Albrecht Dürer sort of print. It's very nice. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about, this is the tarot card project. This is, how many cards have you finished? How many
I think 42.
42,
wow. Out of 78.
Yeah.
And it's been a long-term project of mine, because it's not only you have to draw the cards, you have to actually write about them and tell, you know, a story, how they connect. And how you can use them. And so that's what I have so far. Let's.
The light is nice here.
Yeah?
So you can be wherever you like.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll open it anyway. 1, 2, 3. Cheers. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not too sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's no sugar.
Easily
Yes.
get drunk off of these.
It's fun water.
Yeah, it's fun water. Yeah.
It's really nice.
It is.
I'm really happy.
Yeah, yeah, that's